Recently, a comment has been circulating online where actor Timothy Chalamet said that no one cares about ballet. Now, whether that comment was made seriously or jokingly, it sparked a lot of conversation in the dance world. But instead of debating the comment itself, I thought it would be more interesting to ask a different question. Why should people care about ballet? Because when you look at ballet through the lenses of art, science, culture, and human movement, it becomes clear that ballet is much more than just a niche performance genre. It's a fascinating intersection of storytelling, music, athleticism, and neuroscience. And today, I want to explore several reasons why ballet matters not just to dancers, but to society as a whole. At its core, ballet is a form of storytelling through movement. Many classical ballets are essentially fairy tales told without words. Think about ballets like The Nutcracker, Sleeping Beauty, Giselle, and Swan Lake. These are stories about love, transformation, good versus evil, loss, redemption, themes that humans have been exploring through storytelling for centuries. What makes ballet unique is that the story is communicated through the body instead of language. Movement becomes the vocabulary. A gesture can communicate joy, grief, longing, or triumph. And that's powerful because movement is something that every human understands instinctively. You don't need to speak the same language to understand what's happening on stage. In many ways, ballet is part of a long tradition of human cultural expression, like music, theater, or visual art. And cultures that invest in the arts tend to foster creativity, empathy, and shared cultural experiences. Another reason ballet matters is the experience of live performance. When you attend a ballet, you're not just watching dancers. You're experiencing a collaboration between dancers, musicians, choreographers, designers, and an entire artistic community. Live music, especially orchestral music, has profound effects on how we experience emotion. When that music is combined with movement, storytelling, lighting, and stage design, it creates a multi-sensory experience that's very different from watching something on a screen. There's also something uniquely human about gathering together in a theater to experience art collectively. For centuries, the performing arts have been a way for communities to connect, reflect, and share meaning. Beyond the artistic side, ballet is also an extremely demanding physical discipline. Professional dancers train for many years to develop strength, balance, coordination, flexibility, endurance, and precise motor control. From a biomechanics perspective, ballet is fascinating because it pushes the limits of what the human body can do. For example, turns require extremely precise control of angular momentum. Jumps require explosive power and careful management of landing forces. Balance movements challenge the body's postural control systems. And point work places remarkable demands on the muscles of the foot and ankle. So when we watch ballet, we're actually watching a very high level of human athletic performance. It may look effortless, but that effortlessness is the result of years of training and motor learning. In recent years, scientists have become increasingly interested in studying ballet, and that's where fields like biomechanics, neuroscience, and motor control research come in. Studies have shown that ballet training can influence things like balance, coordination, posture, gait mechanics, and neuromuscular control. For example, some research, including work I've conducted myself, has explored how recreational ballet training may improve balance and recovery from slips in older adults. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury in aging populations. So, understanding how movement practices like ballet influence balance and stability is actually a really important research question. Ballet challenges the body in ways that combine strength, coordination, timing, and spatial awareness. And that combination may help train systems in the body that are important for maintaining mobility throughout life. Another fascinating aspect of ballet is how it engages the brain. Learning choreography requires memory, timing, musicality, spatial awareness, and complex motor planning. Dancers are constantly integrating sensory information from the music, from the floor, other dancers, and their own body position. Even watching dance can activate parts of the brain involved in movement. This phenomenon is called the Action Observation Network, where observing skilled movement activates motor areas of the brain. So when audiences watch ballet, their brains are partially simulating the movements they see. In other words, ballet engages both the performers and the audience neurologically. Now, one thing I want to emphasize here is that this isn't about choosing between ballet and other art forms. I personally love movies. I watch a lot of films, and I think cinema is an incredible art form. Film, theater, music, dance, these are all different ways that humans tell stories and explore ideas. Movies can transport us to other worlds, introduce us to new perspectives, and create shared cultural moments. Ballet does something similar, but through movement and music in a live space. Both are valuable and both deserve audiences. And when societies support the arts, whether that's film, music, theater, or dance, they invest in creativity, imagination, and cultural expression. So supporting ballet doesn't mean ignoring movies or other art forms. It simply means recognizing that the arts, in all of their forms, matter. Finally, there's a broader societal perspective. The arts, including ballet, play an important role in shaping culture. They allow societies to explore ideas, express emotion, reflect on shared stories, and create beauty. Not every activity needs to justify itself purely in terms of productivity or efficiency. Sometimes the value of something lies in its ability to inspire, connect, and elevate human experience. Ballet has been part of cultural life for hundreds of years. It has evolved across countries and generations, influencing music, theater, fashion, and even sports training. And when people engage with the arts, whether as performers or audience members, they participate in something that is fundamentally human. So when people ask whether anyone cares about ballet, I think the better question is, why has ballet endured for so long? Ballet has been part of cultural life for centuries because it sits at a unique intersection of art, music, athleticism, storytelling, and human expression. And it's also part of a much larger ecosystem of the arts. Whether it's watching a ballet, going to a concert, or seeing a great film in theaters, supporting the arts helps keep these experiences alive. Because art, in all of its forms, allows us to tell stories, explore ideas, and connect with one another in ways that are deeply human. And ballet is one beautiful example of that. Thank you for joining me today for the Ballet Science Podcast. Whether you are a dancer, teacher, student, or simply curious about the mechanics behind movement, I appreciate you being here today. Each week, we'll explore the intersection of science and ballet, from injury prevention and biomechanics to nutrition, mindset, and everything in between. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow this podcast, leave a review, and share it with your friends and dance community. If there are specific topics you'd like to hear about in future episodes, feel free to share them in the comments below. You can also follow Ballet Science on social media and visit our website at ballet.science for additional information. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Ballet Science Podcast.